out of the UAP Vault. Let's get right into it. The Travis Walton alien abduction, which in 1993 was made into a movie, Fire in the Sky, is being called into question. Now, this is a bedrock in the UAP UFO community. So for this to be called into question is quite a big deal. A recent Facebook post from Steve Pierce, who was one of the supposed experiencers from the Travis Walton incident. This Facebook post was looked at by Patrick Scott Armstrong, a vetted. Let's take a look.
There are many things that a person can keep secret, many dark truths that they never talk about or won't ever admit, and inevitably they end up taking these hidden truths to the grave. Some things were meant to stay covered, and some things need to be shared, no matter how ugly they may seem. If it's meant to be known, the truth always has a way of coming out. The passing of Mike Rogers has finally revealed the truth behind Fire in the Sky and what really happened to Travis. Upon his deathbed, his last words revealed the ugly truth that has been the subject of much speculation for so many years. He revealed that the abduction was indeed a staged hoax. The whole setup was orchestrated in the disturbed minds of Mike and Travis. This horrible plot to gain popularity has ruined the lives of so many that were involved. I, for one, have dealt with the backlash over this for many, many years. It has destroyed my life and the lives of those that were close to me since I was 17. I have lived with the horror of what I witnessed that night in the woods. It has haunted me in every aspect of my life. I've lived with the tumultuous chaos every day. My whole life has revolved around Fire in the Sky, and to finally have validation that it was all a hoax has sent me on the road to utmost devastation. How dare Mike and Travis live with this secret all these years, knowing what it has done to the lives of those involved, not to mention the public. This lie is of epic proportions. How dare Travis gain popularity and monetary gain at the expense of myself and a few others? He is nothing but a liar, a fake, a phony, a thief, an abominable human being. Perhaps Mike had to confess so that he could finally have peace. But I ask you, what about my peace? My peace was stolen from me, and I've not known anything else in my life. I have lost everything I've ever had because I couldn't move past the trauma that this has caused me. John died believing this was all true. He too lived with the trauma, never knowing what was real. I hope now he rests in peace. As for Mike, you have a lot to answer for. And as for Travis, your day of reckoning is coming. And that is something I will take to the grave.
So what's my opinion on the Steve Pierce Facebook post? Now, stating that the Walton abduction was a hoax after all. Well, my opinion is that Steve Pierce is not saying that it was a hoax. If you really look at it carefully, what he's saying is that Mike Rogers is saying that Mike Rogers and Travis Walton created this hoax. Steve is saying that he was traumatized by what he saw. So he actually saw something, but now he's being made to believe, based on what Mike Rogers supposedly said on his deathbed, that it was a hoax. But Steve Pierce himself is not claiming that it was a hoax. So I think to determine what rings true to us, we need to more closely examine what it is that Mike Rogers said.
I remember leaving a chainsaw on a stump, okay? He had a saw, but he took his with him because we were talking about creating a UFO hoax, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know how the UFO got there, okay? But I remember that when I was driving the truck and he jumped out, it was all deliberate. It was all a staged thing, okay?
Yeah.
And he ran up there, and there was something about the UFO not being real, although it looked real.
So that's Mike Rogers in a telephone interview where he's making the claim that Travis Walton must have created manufactured out of paper mache. I mean, I don't know what he would have made something to approximate or look like and fool, trick people into thinking they actually were seeing a UFO. But it seems like that's what Mike is saying, that Travis created this hoax by making an actual appearance-wise UFO. That just doesn't ring true. It doesn't sound plausible. So let's move on to something else regarding Mike and Mike's claims.
So this is from Michelle Detras, who is Mike Rogers' daughter. On Friday, February 6th, my father died. We held his funeral this past Saturday, February 28th, 2026, in Snowflake, Arizona. His name was Michael Howard Rogers. He was best known for his role as the crew captain in the movie Fire in the Sky, and of course, for his role in that UFO story. And she went on to say, my father wished to confess several hoaxes that he carried out beginning in November of 1975. Yes, that UFO incident, one of the best known UFO stories in the world, was a hoax. One of his last hoaxes includes what is known as the Phoenix Lights in March of 1997, which he explained to me in great detail, including how and what he created the UFO on a large ranch north of Prescott, Arizona, the land belonging to a friend of his named Buford Bell, who has long since passed. So I guess he also confessed to hoaxing the Phoenix Lights? I have to admit, this is definitely a little strange here.
Does any of this sound plausible to you? I think not. But let's listen to Vetted a little bit more.
And it doesn't stop there. When I asked him why he did not confess any of this himself, he said it was because he is terrified of going to jail or prison, most specifically for the Phoenix Lights hoax, because the military got involved to investigate what was definitely seen as a potential threat to millions of people. He said that he did not intend to fly his UFO over the enormous city of Phoenix, that its intended path was over small towns where it would definitely be noticed by some people out in the country. What? Fly as UFO?
Bullshit alert. Bullshit alert.
I mean, this does not sound like, a man that has it all together here.
Yeah, I think that Patrick Scott Armstrong from Vetted and I agree. So in conclusion, in my opinion, we're back to square one. If you believed in the Travis Walton alien abduction story before, there's no reason to stop believing it because of this. And if you didn't believe it previously, well, there's no reason to start believing it because of this. Basically, it's a wash. It just muddied the waters, but it's of no consequence. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you'll like and subscribe. You know, this subject has enthralled me since I was a child, and through the decades I've studied it, but not just the UFO and UAP phenomenon, near-death experiences. I've studied world religions and really immersed myself in many different subjects that I actually think are all connected. So I hope you'll continue to join me at UAP Vault, the collected evidence. See you soon. Hey, do me a favor and go check out Patrick Scott Armstrong's podcast, Vetted, which I just took that information from. He does a great job. He's a genuine guy. He's a truth seeker. And one of the best things on YouTube is Vetted. So go check it out. I'll have a link in the description.